Turn the mic up, let the whole town know. Truth hits hard when the headlines go. From the courthouse steps to the waterline, we follow the paper and expose the signs. Burning bridges, lighting up the night. Toxic water, but we still stand and fight. Local, state, and the national map. Say her name loud. Nicole in all caps. Raw and unfiltered, reality uncut. Digging through the stories they tried to shut up. Speaking truth, demanding facts. Once the fire stops, there's no turning back. Nicole in all caps. Live every Thursday night. Nicole in all caps. Bringing every issue to light.
Hey, ladies and gents. Okay, I went ahead and added Izzy to the layout. It didn't put her on the screen, so I'll have to play around with this for a minute. But anyway, okay, sorry. We are running late tonight. All kinds of technical issues, glitches right before going on. It even said that I am the guest. I am the host. I am the host of this one. So now I might have to play around with this. But I am, there it goes, Nicole Schuyler Kapuscinski. And I am the host of Nicole in all caps. And we are going to be talking about the perfect storm that hit Indiana this week. Madison County. And I have, like I was telling her before we came on, I wanted to do a little bit of history on some of the stuff we were seeing on the ground. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and take that part off. Yeah, it does that sometimes. Cuts my head off when we start getting all these different people in here. So this is where my screen is, like where my camera is, and this is my second screen over here where I'm going to be showing a lot of what I want you guys to see. So where do we want to start? Oh, well, let's start with, the reels. No, let's even back up, because now I remember I didn't even get to come on last week because my internet popped. That's what I wanted to tell you guys. So some of you know I didn't even get to come on the Nicole in all caps. I didn't get to come on the on Saturday for the Veterans Coffee Club. I was so heated about that. So I had no internet. So me and Aaron have sat here and tried to map this thing out all week, brainstorming of when did we get notification? When did the National Weather Service do their thing? So that's all the information will be coming out soon. Do I have you? No, I don't know. Maybe I don't have that set up yet. So Izzy, when we get to whatever you want to, or however you want to participate, or here towards the end, we are going to learn how to do this together. So I might, you know what, if I had you muted on my end, I'll work on that here in a minute, but hold on. Let's go over here. Are you muted on my end? Unmute Mike. I think you're muted.
Are you able to hear me now?
I can hear you now. Was that me muting you or you muting you?
I'm not sure what happened.
Okay. Rookie, I'm a rookie podcaster, and it's much different when you got like somebody in your backstage helping run everything, right? So with like the political spotlight, he has no, it's Christopher and Kate, right? So he's got Kate. She's down in the backstage. When me and Catherine do stuff, I'm always in the back, like on the back, doing all these little side quests and putting all this stuff up here. So I kept thinking it was you, but then I thought for a second, wait, I bet you I have her muted. That's why I can't hear her. And then I think that's what it is. So, all right, guys. So there's my little funny for the day. So let's go ahead and back up. Do you want, you know what? I don't have you muted. So if you want to chime in at all while I'm looking at stuff, feel free. I know me and her just met. So maybe I should just tell them a little bit about how we met. And really, I got confused and thought Izzy was this other poster in my Facebook group. And she wound up being somebody else that was just as compassionate about everything that was going on. So do you want to do a little intro real quick while I'm looking for what I want to start with?
Yeah,
Do you
that'd be
feel
awesome.
comfortable? All right, there you go. Izzy, you do that, and I'm going to go look for my video.
All right, guys. So I'm Izzy. I'm essentially just a normal person off the streets. I'd love to consider myself an independent advocate. I like to be a part of everything that's going on in my city, always helping people any way that I can. And I was also personally affected by the flooding that we had this past week, not necessarily in town by the river, but on the outskirts of town with all of the rainfall, and some additional problems that we have out there. So I have been on the front lines of this situation all week, handing out supplies, food, toys, getting resources out there to people, where we don't see that coverage yet, and then as well as helping people on the outskirts of that out here by me. So we've learned a lot this week. We've learned where coverage is helping people. We've learned where coverage isn't at yet. And with the numbers and the data that we have gathered this week, we've been able to see maybe a little bit of why that is happening as well. We went into areas that were heavily affected. We went into some areas that were affected, but not as heavy this week. And like I said, we gathered a lot from that.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of pictures to show you guys here towards the end. But I don't know. I see I got a couple comments. Aaron, you might have to run the comments. Oh, yeah, look. Thanks, sweetheart. That's, I'm feeling the love. Okay, so the other issue, for some reason, are you on a phone? Is that what you're using, Izzy?
I am, yes.
Okay, I'm not sure why I am not able to add you to my stage. So, for some reason, you don't have a little button on the side. So, at least we can hear you. I mean, not like I just went in there and did the sound, so you sound great. So, I hope, you're not disappointed I can't get you on the screen or anything. But
No, that's okay.
As long as you can, we can communicate and talk. So, all right. So I'm looking back on it, and everything's just happened so fast. I don't really see what I thought we started on. I thought I started on something else. I think it's because initially I lost the internet from Tuesday, the 11th, to pretty much Friday, in between there. And then I remember like Tuesday, Wednesday, and I think it was Wednesday was when Aaron was watching the news, or like, I don't even know. Aaron, come here. You want to pop in real quick? Who were you following? Because he found a really good weather guy that I had never seen before. It was somebody on YouTube was putting all kinds of stuff on here. What's his name? Well,
Ryan Wall, something, I don't know. It was YouTube.
Just some random YouTube dude. Okay, well, anyway, he had some of the most magnificent footage that he was putting out. And he could go on like multiple cameras, right?
Cameras in the city, yeah.
So he had some pretty interesting footage that he was showing everybody. So that's how I knew it was starting to get serious, because I didn't have the internet. So I had no idea what was heading towards us. And I have so many screens open right now that I have lost my StreamYard screen. Okay, I'm going to move this over here so I don't lose that again. Sorry. Ah. I still got you up here. And howdy, Six Puppies. Thanks for tuning in. Always appreciate your love and support. Okay, so somebody posted something, and they started showing these screenshots. And that's when I started realizing, okay, the water's coming. I think that was on the 13th. Was the 13th the day that it was the levee?
The 12th is when it rained all day.
All day.
13th
13th was the levee. So we
Thursday
did start
night,
out.
Friday
So
morning is-
the first video would be on the Anchor Park. So if anybody's following along with the Anchor Park, the East End Anchor Park, somebody was, I think Catherine said, hey, you need to go down there and check the porta pot Thursday. And that was my first, my real first indicator that the poo was getting ready to hit the fan, literally, because I'll have to explain that to you another day. But we have spent so much time trying to stop those anchor parks. And they told us that they were going to move the porta pots from the anchor park down, or they were going to move them out if it was supposed to flood. Well, they didn't. Now, I don't have that footage right here. What I do have is just the first day. So let me pull this up. So this is kind of how the 13th started for me. And I'm not going to play all these. I'm just going to let you see like live footage of just how the day kind of played out. And several of us have put timelines up, and we do know that there was a 31-hour window between when they said that the storm was coming and when a bunch of people got evacuated. So I'm not the only one that noticed that there was a 3-hour window before it actually hit us, and some people didn't even get notified. And everybody can argue the semantics over that, but we'll prove it. But for now, this is how my 13th started. Somebody said, go get a picture of, go try to find those porta pots and get it on camera. And I was like, okay. It doesn't always work that way, though. And for some reason, it's not going to go big, but let's go.
Okay, I'm coming out.
Let's fast forward. Got to hear all that.
Areas being affected by this.
Let me get that one. So I can actually turn that off and just look at the footage. So this was the field leading up to the East End Anchor Park. And this is what we said. We told them that it was going to get nasty down there. And so it was in a floodplain. They were supposed to spend like $400,000 on this property, and they wound up spending like almost $800,000. So I can't even, can you see my little, yeah, there it is. So from where I was standing here to these poles back here is where the ramp is going to be. And so that means that this whole area back in there was flooded. Okay, so that was, I guess, as a river person. What's up, Drew? Wart water. What's wart? Context. I might not see it pop up again, but yeah, so that was my first clue as a avid White River. I play on it all the time. I knew we was getting ready to get into something because I never thought it was gonna flood. I mean, I knew it was gonna flood, but I'd say it like this line. No, I can't see my mouse on that screen now. But that first kind of blip in the water was like where I would say I knew that we were in, like, the whole river was in trouble at that point. So then that's when I'm like, okay, I'm not just gonna.
This was before.
See.
This was before the river even got to 19 feet.
Oh yeah, so this is what do you think
before.
this was? 12 feet?
I don't
No,
know.
I'm thinking
15 maybe, but we don't know.
I'm
This was
thinking
before
maybe
they
almost
said the
15,
road
but
was-
this was before evacuation. But this is how I knew the day was going to be long, and it was getting ready to be from a water
there was more
chaser
rain on the way.
standpoint. I knew it was going to get bad. So I started hopping the bridges and going down through here to record it. So, okay, that. right there is what I thought maybe it would get up to this point. It got almost all the way to 8th Street, which is what the people on 8th Street were concerned about. And then if you're not in, you need to check out the Residents Against the Madison County Bike Path, I think. Of course, I'll have to put all these links up after. It's hard to run the podcast and share all the links. But yeah, so a lot of people were worried it was going to get up here. It got like up in here to maybe here at the peak. Maybe
that diesel tank.
It did. Well, the diesel tank, but they said that something about that diesel tank, the spill or the smell that was out there was not from that diesel tank. I think it was from Derby Downs. I think it was from Derby Downs area. But I want to tell you, I got a sneak peek at some place that I've been trying to look at for a really long time. And this is the Anderson Wastewater Treatment Plant, which Izzy's property and all the stuff that she's got going on over there is connected into the Anderson Wastewater Treatment Plant, formerly known as Anderson Sewage and Sludge. Its current address is like 2501 Gene Guston Way. Drew, we're on the other end of the river, which I'm close to the one where the bridge is all out, which it was really super bad. And then that's where the hazmat, we've had 3 or 4 hazmats, maybe 5, 6. There's so many hazmats right now going on all over the city. It's crazy. But this here is the opposite side of town. This is Anderson Wastewater Treatment. West side, going out 8th Street. So this is coming back towards my house. And I was going down Moss Island Road. I wanted to see what the back side of the Anderson Wastewater Treatment Plant looked like because it was in violation and I wanted to catch them doing something. I wanted to see if I could see the biohazard chemicals in the water. But what I didn't expect was that I was going to know the person who lived in this property. And so it was crazy. So I'm trying to find a spot. You can't really get to any spot on Moss Island Road, but the formerly Anderson Sewage and Sludge, their address was 2501 Moss Island Road. So it's pretty much just a hop and a skip across the river right in this area. And the first thing I noticed when I pulled up, other than the water, obviously, was the smell. And I'm like, oh Lord, that's coming from the Anderson Wastewater Treatment Plant right now. And so I'm told that everything was breached at some point. But right here at this location, this is one that people don't get to get out much and see, because unless you know somebody on this side of the river, you don't get to see. But then this is what was crazy. See, at first I thought the smell might have been the house. And so I wasn't even going to mention anything about the smell until he said that smell's coming from the Anderson Wastewater Treatment Plant. And I was like, oh, that's another indicator I knew we was in some trouble, because it's all up in here and it was already smelling like that. So I was like, okay, here we go. So yeah, this was hit. They were evacuating because they already knew it was getting, and I think I don't know, it was touching his house. So they were evacuating to some other property.
Basement was flooded at that point.
And his basement, did he say it was full? Pretty much. And then he was getting ready to move. And yeah. Did I put you on? No, you did. Okay, good. All right. I thought I muted you again. Well,
Oh, you're okay. Additionally, for Moss Island Road, I have some family that lives out there. I'm trying to get a hold of those pictures right now to send you if you might want to put those up in a little bit. Their whole yards were flooded, their basements were flooded, their septic systems were completely underwater. They could not flush the toilets in their house, so they did get hit pretty terribly out there.
I knew they was getting ready. I like, and that smell, I mean, I would be super mad if I was out there and that's what I had to put up with every day. So, okay, this one is Rabel. Now, Rabel had already flooded. Okay, like you could kind of see What property was that? Okay, I'm just gonna play this
Okay.
sound because you don't need my sound. I just need to know my angles. Okay, so there goes me and my finger. So this had already been underwater once. We figured out that down here, and it had one of the drains down here was full of dirt and weeds. So that's probably good. That's probably the reason why this didn't drain like it was supposed to. Okay, still that canine facility on the corner was the river came up. I feel bad for these guys. Let's see. The river was already almost touching the base of Rabel at this point, and so I can't see my timestamp. And that's the other thing I like about Facebook versus some of the other ones. There's a timestamp on everything, like a date and a timestamp. So it tells me like my whole travel from, and that's what I was trying to gather
This
with
was
my
all before
evidence.
the river got.
Yeah,
to the
this is
highest
yeah,
point.
and this is all before evacuation. So we're just leading up to, and I don't remember anybody saying anything about being evacuated. Oh, but that was much later, like for somebody they said something about range line. So they did start evacuating range line, but range line auto parts is that hazmat, and they're on what is it? They're on lower ground. I'm on higher ground.
Yeah.
So this is going the other way. So yeah, I knew we was in trouble when I saw the river at this point. So it couldn't. I mean, I'd be surprised if Rabel Avenue didn't take some structural damage. Okay, this is the one that got me real bad. This one is 3rd and Sycamore. And I do believe, let me see, this one's not a very long clip. I'm going to let it play because it gets into, I'll skip to when Christy starts talking because my heart, like I've cried so many times for Christy Stewart right here. It's not even funny. Like that was when the first glimpse I saw that like just whatever my family experienced in Irondale in the 1960s was what these guys was experiencing now. And I think the reason why it went like this in the over here on Sycamore Street is because they did that levee, which pushes all the water down into places that it's never been before. So I think that's another reason why this area was hit so hard. And I remember them warning that this was a possibility. So here's this, and I'll be quiet.
Yeah, you guys are flooded here.
That it will come over the wall?
Yeah, it's getting ready. Yeah, I just went up the river. Yeah, it's wait till you see it.
It's not. It was 19 feet. This morning at 10, they said
There you go.
by 1 it's supposed to be 23, up to 23 foot between 1 and 4, and then we're expecting more rain.
All the houses on L.A. Pike are flooded out.
So
Yeah,
this is
no, this is 3 city blocks. How far does it go? Just
Riverbend Park. Yeah, that's when the
18.
that's when a bunch of people died down there.
Where you live? The gray house? Right here. Well, yeah, you're not flooded. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's coming in the basement. But they said it's supposed to come on my wall. Yeah. I feel sorry for those people.
Okay, I think this is where Dustin Summers comes into play here soon. He's the guy with the sandbags. I was going around putting sandbags up there. Fast forward.
That lady said her baby down there. Why? Tell them.
Well, yeah, you wanna tell everybody? Well, okay. My name's Nicole Schuyler Kapuscinski. I just ran for county council. Long story short, I call out the government all the time. So this is
I'm now going to create a theme song, Govbusters.
Our furnaces, our water heaters, new washers and dryers. I had
I'm sorry, can't hear.
Thousands of dollars worth of stuff that it's gonna.
Okay. So anyway, I'll come back to her because she's one. I followed her story for days.
And so you talked to the city today? Like they, okay, they had you go knock at the neighbors' doors? Okay. Okay. So yeah, you guys are, and that's Riverbend. So that means that if this is what,
If that's roughly 19 feet, it went.
yesterday when it started, today, not just today, this is from this morning. Okay. Yeah, because I saw the buses driving through, I think this morning.
Okay.
Ray,
That's her story. Now, Izzy's helping me collect and document all this stuff. So tomorrow we're going to have an event over at Derby Downs. We're going to do a pop-up mobile hub and have people meet us there. So if you're, I'll talk more about that towards the end. I want to try to get through some of these videos because it was just insanity. Okay, so that was one. Okay, this is our
okay,
Granny Well number 4.
ladies and gentlemen. I know you was.
I've seen I've seen this flood before, but I'd never seen a flood like this. And this is the one we reported on Saturday. What was that? Saturday the 15th. And that's when Item said something. He said they were too busy. And so then
That's by Grand Avenue.
That's by Grand Avenue and Frisch's. This is in the National Priority List Superfund site that me and Bree and Catherine and Rebecca Crooms, Megan Nicole. I'm trying to think everybody's name because I don't want to leave anybody out. A whole bunch of us have been tracking these. Tess Etchison. She's the one over there by where Christy was at that I just showed everybody. That's the Superfund site by that property. And then this property feeds into that other one. This feeds into Derby Downs. So that's why I was like, you mean all these toxins that are already here are getting pushed into Derby Downs area? So I don't know. The water became like a super spreader to me and just spread all this stuff. Okay, so that's earlier in the day. Let's see. This one. Oh, this one's good too. Okay, I do a little bit longer. So this is the parking lot of Work 1. Let me see what
Location in my backdrop here in a minute. The Wheeler water plant is over there.
Yeah, Wheeler water plant is over there. And my mom got sick a half mile away from this location in the 1960s. And historically, they upgraded the water treatment plant either right around the same time my mom got sick or just after she got sick. So it was common knowledge in my family that the water caused it. I mean, my grandma would tell you the story. My mom would tell you the story if she was still alive. And it was October 2024, when I found out that there was PFAS in the water. And then my mom died November 1st, 2024. And the crazy thing about it was she was drinking the water during that time because she didn't believe anything I said. So I can't help but think that the PFAS in the drinking water at that time at high levels would have created like whatever caused her liver to start shutting down on her in the end. She had the best care. I mean, she did. So, okay, this is the Blue Bridge. Yeah, I didn't want to get the guy in it. Oh, I don't want to tell you what I said there. Let's back up a little bit. Okay, yeah, this is Wheeler. This is Irondale. Okay, so my house is that way. And what is that? Is that east? That we're still going east on the White River towards Scatterfield Road and then Range Line where I live. So that's east. And then I'm getting ready to do, and I start seeing not just, I know I see things other people don't, but I started looking for the turbidity in the water and if I was seeing, dissipating bubbles or, because dissipating bubbles are like, you want to see that. I mean, that's normal. It's the non-dissipating foamy stuff that's not normal. And in some areas it was really bad. So, okay. This is Eisenhower Bridge right there. That's 8th Street Bridge. And that's where it wound up breaking the levee. Okay, you'll have to see the levee here in a minute, but it didn't break it. I mean, it breached the top of it, and that's what it. But over by the AU Park Place area, our friend that lives at the base of the bridge, a couple of them said the flooding didn't breach or break the levee over in Park Place. It came around the levee in Athletic Park area. So that was interesting. Okay. Here's the levee. So this was insanity because usually the water's not all the way to this part. So this is a trail and the river is usually over here on that tree line. So I go all the way down. And I gave them, when I was talking with the city and I talked to David Ikes and, well, I talked to David Ikes. I said hi to the mayor. I was given solutions too, so don't think just because I complain about stuff that I don't offer solutions. I offer solutions because there's down here at Edgewater Park. What I think would have helped a lot of us locals is if they would have marked the road that gets in and out of this place. Okay, so let me go right here. This right here is the boat ramp. Okay, and usually we can go all the way to the boat ramp. So the river is supposed to stay on that side of the trees right there. It didn't. That's what we got. Oh, sorry. Okay. So if you look at this, the road going in and out right here, we could have had some type of markers. Like, if they spray paint booth spaces for, events, then I'm thinking they could have at least spray painted some lines so that we would know and make it part of the design of the park for those of us that know what we're looking at. Because this would be by 1920 in the afternoon before they even the evacuation started and the news. Like, I think a lot of us thought this was as high as it was going to get. We didn't really think it was going to get up over here. I didn't. It wasn't until later on in the day that I was like, oh, no, it's going. So there's that one. Let's see. Yeah, this one just really hit home. And then all I could think of was the 2,000 people that had died in Park Place back in 1913. But I come back later in another video and I show how how this side has there's like this little causeway between the levee and Park Place or 10th Street. And so it caught some of the water too that did make it over the levee. Okay, that's the same one. Okay, so I think this is about the time that somebody called me to tell me that they were evacuating Range Line or something.
Okay.
So here's Range Line, and this, once I got home, because I wasn't able to get to Range Line when I left that morning, because if I would have, I probably would have been like a little bit more right, but nope, this is it. So when it touched this right here, I was like, okay, this is it. We couldn't handle much more at that point, and we did. We breached it by 6 more feet. Okay, so that's that one. Oh, this is a good one. I don't have the footage of the guy swimming in the water. Okay. You'll have to go find that from somebody else. So this is
Okay,
leading up to
we are now down
night.
here.
I think Tanya might have had some good footage, but she didn't get with me today. So here it started raining again. And this is the place where people were swimming in the water that night before it crested to 24 foot. There's some good photos of the people. Like this whole parking lot had vehicles just with their lights. And I think a lot of them had their windows open and they were just talking in amazement at what was going on. This was a place a lot of us got concerned about because we know that that's Holiday Dump. And then I was getting, oh, the water's rippling. I mean, this looks horrible. It looks like it's an ocean of some sort, and you got riptide coming in. Okay. That was that. What's this one? Okay, this was when I realized that the Mancinos had flooded. I come down here to Pittsford's Ditch and CSO 25.
Okay, so now
I couldn't get back there, so I still haven't made it down there. I'm waiting for the water to get away from it to get some better footage. So I'll probably go down there this weekend. But the White River was all the way up to here. So, I mean, I get a little farther in, but I knew right then I wasn't going to be able to get back to that to get any footage for there. That meant this whole park, I can't remember what they called this park, but I knew that was when Irondale was going to be in trouble if we got any more rain. And because I know I got some footage when, didn't I? Hold on, I'm going to put mute. Okay.
We were there before dark.
It was just before dark.
And it was on 9th Street. But yeah.
Okay.
And they were evacuating. We were out there. I didn't.
Because I thought Salvation Army. Oh, okay. That's my sad one because I had to clean my son and my stepdad out of poop. So I'm not going to play this one. The one with my mom's pictures in it. Okay, that one's that. That's CSO 16. You know what? I might just have a full clip that I'm going to have to go and look for, but I could have swore I was on live during the evacuation. Wait, let me see. Okay, I was. That's what got me over there. Okay. So yeah, APD wouldn't let me come back up. So that's how I got down to here. All right, that makes sense. Sorry guys, just bear with me.
okay, ladies and gents, I'm back.
There's a lot of footage I was trying to collect, so you could see the like just the steps leading up to. I mean, it was just insane. And so I called the episode tonight "A Perfect Storm" because everything was just set right. All right, it was just set so right. People were gone. People weren't in the right place. But I can tell you, I don't think they knew that this place was gonna do what it did, or we would have had more officers. There wasn't a good perimeter set up to keep us away from all the all the spots that were flooding. This is University Boulevard over here. So I did run down here and get the footage. Okay, hold on. Somebody on the west side has got some carbon monoxide alarms going off in their house right now. I just got the message. west side of First Street. I bet. Is there, if anybody's watching or you know somebody that's in that area right there and you wouldn't mind running over there for me, just to check, but I guess they need to evacuate. I guess that's what they should do. If the alarms are going off, then that's probably not good for them. Okay, Izzy, go ahead and pop back on here real quick. This is, you said what you're seeing on the ground. Didn't you say you were getting ready to lose, like, your, you guys had stayed in a hotel and you kind of exhausted some of your resources with the hotel?
Sorry, you cut out right at that last part.
Okay, weren't you the one that you were staying at a hotel and that was coming to an end? Was that
Yeah,
you?
so yes. So, well, one of them. I'm not sure if I'm the one. But we are
No,
staying in a hotel.
I think it was you because you were concerned about the cost of the hotel, and that's what. And then you said something about your friends and having to watch. Like, didn't you say some of your friends were single moms?
Yeah. So, yes, actually. So, what's going on right now is we are seeing some organizations, some churches and stuff like that handing out hotel vouchers, and that's great. I'm staying in a hotel myself. There was a church helping me out for a couple days, and now I'm doing that independently because there is black mold in our house from all the residual effects that we had from water coming up and standing for way too long. But a huge problem that we're seeing right now is it's great that these companies are putting some money forth to help people stay in a hotel. But when you're only there for 3 days, just until the water is gone, that's great. You're not sleeping in the river of your house. But when we see people checking out, our shelters are already full. They were full long before this flood happened. So where are people going? And to see people checking out on one of the same days that I ended up getting a different room. But to see them checking out and kids crying and parents frantic because they didn't know where they were going to be going next is heartbreaking. Um, they don't tell you there's no handbook for this kind of stuff. They tell you, having a savings account is great for stuff like this, but how far does a savings account really go when these rooms are almost $100 a night? People can't go back to these homes and be breathing in these fumes. Small children, how do you expect them to stay in these houses and keep a mask on the whole time that they're there? It's not practical, it's not realistic. So, yes, there's people staying in hotels. Those vouchers are ending. Um, and so it's a really heartbreaking situation because where do you place people? We've seen a lot of bigger facilities making room for people to put down cots and stuff like that in there. But we are hearing that they are now putting out deadlines as well. So it's really great to get these people out of the water. They shouldn't be there. But what are we doing with them afterwards? Because, like I had said previously, we are over a week out from the biggest hit of this situation, and there are no plans to do anything other than what individuals have kind of self-deployed to do already. There's no plans to clean up these houses the way that they need to be. There's been no assessment other than the first assessments that were made for the risks and stuff over there, and obviously the area needed to be evacuated at the given time. But what are individuals facing now? What are they breathing in and stuff like that just from being
Okay,
over there?
that's actually a good point. So I can, if I have to stay on later to get some of these other points about what I just witnessed this week, that's fine. I want to jump over to some of your pictures. And so let me grab, wait, did I go too far up? Okay, that's the one you just sent me. Okay. Yeah, there it is. All right. So this first round of pictures, where were these at? I'm going to
So
step
these
away.
pictures were taken on Louise, right on the river. These homes are not on a hill by the river, they are ground level with the river. And then I believe the second set of pictures that I sent you, that
I,
is from West First Street.
okay, so this one is, you said, is in a.
This is
What?
Louise, ground level to the river, and then the second set will be from West First Street.
Okay, now I gotta go back. Okay. Is that the house on West First Street that's circled that you said was, or somebody?
Yes.
Okay. Isn't this who? Well, is that the Hunt house right there by
Yes.
chance? Okay. So they have a GoFundMe or something that they've set up for everybody, or for them. For it's Michael Hunt's mom who lives in that red circled house.
Yeah, we
So
just got out to her last night, took her some clothing and some resources. Thankfully, she's staying with some of her sisters on the north side of Anderson, but their home got hit pretty bad.
I just lost. Hold on. I mean, she pretty much lost everything she owned, right? On First Street.
Yes,
Bridge.
it took them some time. They said they've gone back since and can't even get the door open, just because of things that have fallen over, and stuff like that. We have seen Red Cross and stuff like that moving into some other areas. That is an area where they have not yet been contacted by anybody.
See, and that's why we wanted to go to that particular area tomorrow, to set up the hub, because I was hearing that they hadn't really. I mean, I think it was yesterday on live. We were going down. I think it was Second Street, and we Tess Etchison was helping this lady, but she had moved all of her stuff out of the car, out of her house, or what she wanted to salvage. She tried to stick as much as she could in her car, and she was sleeping in her car, and she was crying, when Tess stumbled upon her, because nobody had been there to help her get the water out, and we were able to help her. So tomorrow we're gonna go find these kind of people. I need volunteers. If anybody knows people that want to volunteer, we need to pull some furniture up out of basements, and we need muscles, people with muscles.
I'll definitely try to get some people together too. Another thing that we are learning from this situation is a lot of the areas where Red Cross and similar organizations have moved into. I don't want to say that they're moving into areas that weren't hit, because everybody was hit, no matter how minor or major. But in these areas where they got hit the worst, we are not seeing help over there at all. And I have a couple different theories on why that may be. I'll let people make their own assumptions about that. But yeah, in the worst houses that I've seen been impacted, unless they have the money to call contractors and get help on their own, we have not seen any help sent out there.
Okay. Do you want to? Okay, so just in case anybody's just now tuning in, since you're not on my screen, I know I'm not on there either, but most people kind of know who I am. You want to tell everybody what your name is again?
Yeah, I'm Izzy Krompack. I am an individual advocate, totally independent, not part of a group or organization. I go out on sunny days and help people in our community, not just when it floods. But I've been on the front lines of this situation ever since it started, handing out information, resources, gathering data and numbers, to get together with some other people and hopefully make a change in the city that we have not seen yet.
Yeah. I mean, you really got me fired up when you started asking me for stuff, or you tagged Catherine, and then I think you got a message to me. So tomorrow we got we need a couple volunteers for this one. These are 2 female veterans. We need 2 to 4 people in the morning to help with these ladies. And then I have another house over in Park, like the Park Place area by that levee that flooded. She needs at least an hour worth of work just carrying stuff out of a garage. And then, Izzy, you said you were going to be able to be at the Derby Downs tomorrow at 2, correct?
Yes, I can be there. I'm not sure it'll be exactly at 2. We have a lot of people that we're still trying to help in the morning and get those items to them before we have to come back to our own residence later in the night and finish cleaning up here. Our basement's pretty bad off from the rain last night as well. There's no drainage out
Yeah,
here, so the yard just lets it go in our basement. Um, but yeah, I will definitely be there.
you guys are in rough shape out there on Park, just past Park Avenue on the Nestle drainage lines and just in the county. That's kind of the stuff I was going to lead into here in a minute. So, well, tomorrow you might get to meet Izzy here at the operation. There is no place like home. So we're going to try to get a mobile hub launched and start gathering information. We're not going to let anybody get left behind. That's the other thing. Like, because I'm getting reports, people can't. Last night it was like somebody said they were trying to fill out stuff on 211, and the website kept freezing. One person said they were online for 3 minutes, and we get it that there's a crisis. We're not trying to take away from that. It's been really difficult for people to get help, and I do believe people are also getting turned away for help. So that is like the downside of this, and we just want to make sure that everybody's getting what they need. And some of these people need to be cleaned out, like last weekend, really, because what'd you say? I think she's dealing with mold. Other people are dealing with mold. You've seen some of those pictures. It's crazy. So then, how do I start that? I was really hoping that Stephanie May Stennis could be on so she could explain some stuff that we experienced this week. While we're in the middle of doing all this, okay, day 1, I don't think a lot of people realize we didn't even have any of the information we have now. So it was like day 1, the first flood center that was set up was Salvation Army on Meridian Street. And then we started, everybody started kind of pulling their resources together. And I know they have some stuff online, but it seems I get people reached a lot with these flyers, and then people can go ahead and print them off and they have them. Some of the people don't have access to computers, so just printing these flyers off are really helpful. And we're going to try to put some packets together for people to have, so this stuff like this doesn't happen again, and just network with everybody so that we know that, if something does happen again, we know who to call. So a lot of these organizations have stepped up to help over the last week. And then we've had several hazmats. So if you hear me talking about the hazmats, this works for everybody, though, not just Anderson, not just Madison County residents. This is stuff for the state. I just have the Anderson historic flooding at the top. Now, item stuff wasn't working. I was hoping Bree could come on too, because I thought if I had like 5 people on here bouncing back and forth, we would have a better, you guys are here, not just for me, what's going on, but whatever, it is what it is. So I had issues with item. Me and Brian Smith got to fussing. That's why his his number's over here. Because it started with Bree, and Bree called me and she was so upset. And the smell at McDonald's out there at Mancino's, it just got horrible. And so we called it in on Saturday, and we couldn't get any of the numbers to work. So then we called item 24/7 line. These numbers weren't working. So then we called the National Response Center line, and then that's how we got response. But then Brian said he was too busy for us, so that didn't work out for Brian, but whatever. It's okay. We
Touching a
kept
little
them.
bit on the smell over by Mancino's, I saw a lot of people saying that as well, saying that McDonald's was staying open over there and they were concerned about the drive-through workers because it was so strong over there.
Right.
I cannot personally speak on that. I have heard a lot about it. However, yesterday and today both, when we were over in the Louise area, where those pictures were taken, it definitely smells heavily of human feces over there. You can definitely tell that the sewer has come up and just washed these homes out.
Now, when you say is it Louise, Louise, and it's like over by 9th Street and 8th Street? Is that the one
I
you're
will pull
referencing?
that up for you right now.
Okay. Because that's the only Louise I can think of, and that's over by my son and my stepdad. So that makes me want to go check it out now.
Yeah, so we're looking at Louise Street right on the river, right behind the Grandview Golf Course and right next to the Animal Protection League.
Yeah, that's over by my dad and my son. So see, and then Tom Ecker, and then wonder why I got so mad. So
Yeah, that is one of the areas where I truly saw some of the most devastation.
okay, well, I will be over there tomorrow taking a look over that way. Okay, so leading up to, I know I make people mad, but Tom Eckert, it's my little meme I made because he was the face of this disaster of an evacuation last week. And come to find out, EMA, the guy who runs EMA, the director of EMA, was at a seminar. So finding out a bunch of stuff behind the scenes, it kind of makes sense to me because I was like watching all this stuff play out in front of me. It makes sense why everything would have played out the way that it did, but what doesn't make sense is nobody had a backup plan. Like, I don't know. I guess I always have a plan B, and maybe it's just how I am. Oh no, it was Catherine has it up better. The one that's on Catherine's Facebook. I want you guys to hear this. So we caught wind on Tuesday, I think at 5, that there was going to be, because to me, we have two things here. We got the city of Anderson issue and we got the county issue. And with the county and the EMA, I thought up until this last week that it was the EMA's job to help manage and avoid large scale catastrophe type issues. Now, people did get out, but I feel like that the evacuation plan also hurt our first responders. I think that a lot of them were caught off guard and had to do things that they don't normally do. So I'm not totally mad at all them for how things went down. I think the EMA and Homeland Security and some of the guys above the city should have pulled rank on some of this stuff, and they did pull in the National Guard. David said he pulled in the National Guard. And so that answers that question. I was looking to see, I thought Catherine had a clip of this meeting the other day because I wanted you to see this, and I guess it's just 19 seconds, or is it this one? Okay, no. I'm going to go ahead. It's 8:09, and I'm going to go ahead and let this play because this is the craziness that we just witnessed. And okay, so 925,000 was supposed to, like, the paperwork all says EMA. It all says it's going to EMA. All the line items, everything says it's going to EMA. Around this time, everybody's finding out different things too. So like somebody noticed that that would be the next day. I'm just going to push play.
Here, let me see how much you can use mine.
Okay. Here on the right is Christy Grabowski.
Jody, we're good to go.
The voice that you hear a lot is Todd Culp. The second person in that you can see is Diana Likens, and then Jonathan Culp is here on the end. I'm not really big on political nepotism. There's a whole story on that I'm not even going to go into, but that's who's up there getting ready to make a huge decision. And then the Bethany Keller and Norick are on the Zoom chiming in, and they almost start this with hardly anybody being in the audience. Ken Kaczynski, the county surveyor, thinks he's getting ready to get money and get some time on the floor. So I just want to kind of tell you what you're getting ready to watch. And they wind up not even giving him $200,000 for drains like Izzy's.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. Yes. Yes, Councilman Steele. Councilman Call. Here. Councilwoman Likens.
Here.
Councilwoman Grabowski.
Here.
Councilwoman Keller.
Here.
Councilman Green. President North. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Chad. So we're calling this meeting, we're today for an emergency meeting for emergency management. They've requested $1 million in a couple different categories. You guys all had an opportunity to look at that?
Yes.
Yes. I saw a request for $925,000. Was it only $925,000?
Yes.
I didn't add it up. Okay, well,
The advertisement was done that
today is that we would do a $500,000 approval today or appropriation. It just, whatever it does, I guess it would be a total cut in half. It's only $900,000. Todd, did you think that would be enough adequate to get us through what we need for right now?
I think that'll be enough to get them at least to the September meeting where they could advertise again. That puts us about 4 weeks out. And if you give them $500,000, that should give them enough to really start the flood relief process. I think they would be tickled to death, and I know he'd be willing to come back in September if they're needing more money.
Any discussion with the council on that?
What was the dollar amount?
$500,000 to start him with, and have him come back when he's needing some more.
Do you know which items were the highest priority? Would that be enough to completely what they need at least to get through now? So they have to pick and choose which lines they would?
I think as long as you give him money in all three categories, the 2 series, the 3 series, the 4 series, we can help him move it around if he needs to shuffle it around from one item to another. But I think as long as you give him some money to work with, they're going to figure out how to do it.
I just don't want him to be needing more in a week or 2 weeks.
Right.
So that's you're the one that has spoken with him.
Yeah.
So
I think if you give him $500,000, I think he'll be fine until September.
Okay.
If he's not, you might. It's true. You might have another special meeting.
okay.
Well, his largest request is in the 300 line, or the 3,000 line, sorry.
Yeah, 400,000 and other services and charges. Yes.
So 425,000 in the 2,000 line and the 30,000 line.
So she's adding it.
Okay.
6,000, 600,000, and then 100,000 in the 44. Does that sound right?
Yes.
I'm not opposed to $1 million. I'm not. If he needs it, that's what the rainy day fund is there for. And we need to step up and do what we need to do to be able to fund this properly. It's totally up to you guys what you think.
Bethany, what are your thoughts?
I was gonna ask you the same thing.
My
Okay.
thoughts, this is, for me
When I
personally,
saw the $925,000 request, my first thought was, that's it.
yeah.
Because I actually expected it to be higher than that.
From,
I think that's where I kind of reached out to Todd to give me some guidance as far as what it is he's wanting to spend this on. I mean, I know they have to repair their cars, and I know they have to replace the, what do you call the things, the floodgates and so forth that they lost during the flooding. But I really wasn't sure exactly what this money was being used for. I'm assuming maybe some of it was for food or whatever for the people that are coming in to help. Is that part of it? I don't know.
That is true. They're gonna be supplying a lot of food and resources. They have thousands of volunteers coming in from all over the country to help our citizens muck out their houses and remove the debris from their houses. And they're going to try to be organizing these thousands of volunteers and feeding them and taking care of them while they're here.
my only thought is,
Feeding them and taking care of them while they're here. Now we have a bunch of people in a crisis situation. There is places giving them food, but from what I think it was Izzy, I just heard her say, or somebody said that they're all working off the donation, so they're still not getting help with some of this, and so the city and county are kind of sitting on their hands.
I think.
Oh, and check out Stephanie's stuff. Somebody's got that funny "Where's Mayor Broderick" memes going around. And Izzy, I thought I lost you, and I was so sad because I think everybody's gonna like your take. You did such a great job explaining yourself, and I'm so thankful that you were able to get on here with me and that you reached out to us to help gather some of this information, because these people are gonna need souls like yours and mine and Catherine's and everybody else that's watching that's interested in the subject matter. Sorry. So so that was what was throwing us off right here, is they're talking about thousands and thousands of volunteers. Now I'm just going to throw this out here and then I'm going to push play. But I really truly believe that we could bypass all that money, okay, if we invested in the people that's right here doing the work, already wanting to jump in and help these people, because this is our neighbors, these are our friends, these are our, our extended families, our cousins, our friends. Like, you just don't understand, like like a lot of us are doing it because it's the right thing to do, and it's like we can't move on with our lives watching our people suffer, and we're already out here doing stuff. So why not take that money that you would pay all these volunteers and just give it back to the people, pay them for the work, right? Like, I don't know, I guess I'm a realist, and I think that we can use John Dyer. Okay, now I just have to say this real quick. John Dyer and I don't necessarily get along. Anybody that knows us, we argue, and he says some of the meanest stuff about me, and he's hurt my feelings a couple times, stuff that I've heard come out of his mouth on his lives. But I'll tell you what, every place that I have went, John Dyer was there. Something like either he was passing me or I was passing him, or like in that footage out at Harney's by Izzy's house on Park Road, there's 7-foot ditch. The Nestle drain is broke and there's a floodwaters over there. And John Dyer, I had no clue it was him. He's out in that water. His hands are up in the air. He's waiting. And then when Destiny came over there and she's like, "That's John Dyer," I was like, "I'll tell you what." I went over there and told him thank you for his tenacity and his boldness in this situation. So I think guys like John Dyer should be getting paid for some of the work that they're doing. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. I would be paying our locals. They already live here. They can go home and sleep. It's not a whole bunch of, extra. So anyway, all right, that's what I wanted to say. And I'm going to push play now.
That's where most of it, I think, if you just think about machinery, there's not a lot. I mean, he's talking about 4 cars, which is diddly when you're talking about this much money. Most of this money's going to make sure our people get some sort of relief from the volunteers and organizing those volunteers, making sure those volunteers are taken care of.
Is there any chance? Okay, Bethany, sorry. It's okay. Is there any chance of us being reimbursed any of these funds? Like, for instance, are the vehicles, are they insured and they need the money up front to replace them, and then we're going to get some kind of reimbursement, or is it just?
I think.
Or should we not expect anything back?
I think you're right about that, Bethany, but I also think you probably have a good chance of getting reimbursed through FEMA money if President. Yeah, if President Trump does declare it a national disaster, I think we will get reimbursed from FEMA.
Hey, I'm sorry. These are talking points. These are political talking points. Okay. Some people cannot fill out the FEMA forms because we're still not technically labeled whatever they need to be able to register with FEMA. And then this is the part where I don't even know how to explain it. They're not even asking for the right amount of money. They're asking for $1 million something dollars. And the only thing they put out to the public was $925,000. So my next clip is, and I'm just going to stay tuned, because we walk in and talk to Tom Eckert and get some receipts and some documents to figure out what this money's going to go to. And yeah, it gets good. But anyway, Catherine, like an hour after this, figures out that there's $200,000 missing from the line items. I mean, it's in front of us, but you don't see it. And then I need to flip over to my Ken footage, and that's what we'll watch before I go into the Tom Eckert one, because he has a good couple 2 cents to say what they just pulled at this meeting.
I don't know what percentage or how much, but I'm sure I'm sure we'll probably get reimbursed for some of that.
And one question we asked Todd is, was it dependent on which fund? Like, did it have to be taken from a certain fund to be reimbursed? And the answer on that was no. So if it is going to be reimbursed, it can be reimbursed from the rainy day fund.
So I thought it to go ahead and appropriate what he has, which is $925,000. Have him come in the September meeting and at least give us accountability as to what's been spent and on what. What do you think about that?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
If he doesn't need it, then he's always been.
The three here seem to be in agreement with you. How about you, Bethany?
That we give him the full amount and then have him come in and account for it in September.
Yes.
Correct.
Sorry, I want to point this out, and I know that I didn't pick the bestest of footage to pull from here because you can't see, but who's him? Who's him? Who is he? Who is whoever they're referencing in this video clip? Because there's no one standing at this podium asking for money, mind you. You don't hear one person step up here. They don't let the public comment. They pretty much tell us that they don't want to hear what we got to say. They don't want to hear Stephanie wanting, because she had questions about packets, because she was concerned about people that can't read or write good. You know, who's going to be looking out for those guys? I had questions about, the evacuation, and then the 4 vehicles. Like, if you know your EMA and you know this storm is coming, how did them 4 vehicles get damaged? What's the status on those? How long have they been sitting in the back behind that building? And mind you, I do believe this is the same building where they have the beer cooler morgue at too. So just be mindful of the location that they wound up not letting me go back into. And I think it's because somebody told them she went and got me or something. I don't know. But I didn't even get to go in the EMA building. They wouldn't even let me go in. So anyway, I'm still upset about it.
Just because we appropriate it doesn't mean he'll necessarily spend it.
Right.
Right. And I want to hold people accountable for the money that we appropriate, but I just don't think now is necessarily the time. We need to give him the money because it is this emergency situation, and let them start spending it. But yes, I agree with having them come back in September with receipts. Or just some accountability as to how they, yeah, I didn't necessarily mean receipts, but just, yeah.
I make a motion to approve the request.
Councilor Grabowski made a motion to approve.
Second.
Counselor Likens made the second.
That's the 925,000.
Yes.
Mind you just said that's the 925,000. Now, people get mad because me and Catherine, and well, not just me and Catherine, there's a whole handful of us that pick out they don't have an editor at the Herald Bulletin, and they do stuff all the time that's just like, why would you do that? Like, just it don't make no sense. And then, okay, Tom Ecker's not here. The Madison County Health Department's not here. There's hardly anybody here. Really, it's me. I'm over here in the corner with my camera set up. Stephanie May Stennis is on the far left of, well, it's the far right on the screen, far left if you were in the room. And then Ken Kaczynski, the surveyor's in there. I think he's the one sitting next to her back there. And then Rebecca, she already knew her camera wasn't going to work. I need to get her the other set of cameras. I'm working on her. This hit, and just, I'm sorry. But she jumped up. So if you want to see some of Rebecca the Croom's up close footage, you can. But this Madison County, Indiana is the best sound. So that's why I use this one. But there's nobody here. So if you read the Herald Bulletin article, it sounds like a lot more stuff was discussed that's not. So there's a lot of stuff. They don't even ask questions, man. They don't even.
Yes. Councilman Cole? Yes. Councilwoman Likens?
Yes.
Councilwoman Grabowski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Keller?
Yes.
President Norick?
Yes. Okay, so that passes. Is there anything else we needed to address today, Todd?
There's nothing else we've advertised for.
Okay. So can I have a motion to adjourn, please?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, guys, have a great day.
Thank you. It's in the rainy day.
Okay, now I noticed that they have a few minutes on here, but this is exactly one of the reasons why I started going and tag teaming with whoever had a camera in the room at the time. So it started with Rebecca Crooms and Catherine Callahan, and I would piggyback all their footage. And then I started taking all my own footage. So I've grown a lot in the last couple of years. And those two ladies have taught me a lot about local politics. And I am forever grateful that people like Rebecca Crooms and Catherine Callahan exist. I don't care what people say about those two ladies. They are awesome and they answer my questions. Okay? Just so you know. Anyway, I'm going to let this play out and then I'm going to jump to my footage because it shows Ken is kind of mad at this point. He's fuming.
No, I think we're good, Jody. Thank you. I appreciate you calling in. Bethany, thanks for calling in. I really appreciate you doing that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, my area.
Okay, now I'm going to jump back over to me real quick because on my footage you can see that's the other one. Okay. If I get cut off for mouthwash, I might go longer on my heads up channel. So if you guys, I don't know, sometimes it cuts off. It's weird. Just in case it cuts off, I'll go over there with some of the, I got some more stuff I want to talk about, but I think I'm only going to be able to do a couple more videos before 9. So I don't know what's getting ready to happen on the storage. But on this one, okay. Can't really hear him on mine. I mean, you can see him clear on my video. Jonathan Colt, Diana Likens, Christy Grabowski. This is Jonathan's dad, Todd, who is the auditor, who should have known better about them numbers. And Bethany Keller's over here on the Zoom screen, and so is, who is on the screen with her? Jody North, the president. This is Miss Rebecca Crooms right here, and this is Ken Delbastide right there. The other Ken. So there's two Kens in there, and then I think, okay, there he goes. Okay, so I get the stuff that nobody else catches. That's why we record this right here.
I make a motion to adjourn. Second.
No public comment.
No public comment.
No, I think we're good, Jody. Thank you. I appreciate you calling in. If there's anything to water in, I really appreciate you doing that. So, Ray, yes, you can.
Thanks, Todd, for all your effort.
Just seeing how you were doing with the rain.
You're gonna flood damage?
Well, yes and no. So, it was actually pretty good down there in Rangeland, we grew up on that hill.
Oh, yeah.
But, my family, on 9th Street,
Yeah.
so we were the people that were just outside of the floodplain and flood zone on the west side. Because of that,
So pretty much what's going on is Ken Kaczynski right here, this is the county surveyor, has now figured out that he and the constituents or the voters who voted for him to do his job, and we're, you know, and he fights so hard for everybody. What? There's a lag. He's up here fighting for us right now. He's up there fighting for the county. Anybody in the county that is got drainage issues, he's trying to get $200,000. So ironic that it's $200,000 missing from this $1 million budget that they proposed. But he's up there fighting for it. I'm not sure what they had discussed before this, before this. He's getting ready to tell us though. But that's what's going on right here. So they have dismissed. They did not allow for public comment. They didn't care what I had to say. They didn't care what Ken, the elected official, had to say. And I'm pretty sure that Rebecca would have asked really good questions too. So nobody got to ask questions about this money. And the questions that were being asked by everybody up front made a lot of us feel like our voices didn't matter and that they just let them have the EMA have a blank check to do whatever. And we're going to prove it here in a minute that they get to do whatever with the money. And it's not even the EMA who is in charge of the money.
No, I mean, we've had some minor relief.
I had,
Nothing in my house or anything.
my street in LaFell always flooded. This time it was up, I mean, in my driveway in my yard, but never got close to my house.
Yeah, I did.
And Diana and them get out of the building. I'm taking my time. Or I took my time.
It is.
I felt so bad for some people.
Athletic park is horrible.
Yeah.
That's not the smell. Is on YouTube.
Well, I don't have a choice, but I'm gonna tell that to the town. I don't have. You guys gotta put in your thing. That doesn't go to other departments. It just goes to what they said.
Who was that for? EMA?
Yeah, and it doesn't do it us. So when I met with them this morning, I knew nothing about this. I wasn't included. It wasn't included, so I took it to him, to Tom, and the commissioner. Oh, you're part of the 925.
So Ken, you
don't
didn't.
have $1 million. You're not going to ask FEMA for relief. And I have drones going up on Wednesday and Thursday to show the damage that we have in the drain or in the medical streams. This is medical streams. This is who knows what it is? It costs me 20,000 to 30,000 just clean up per incident. Fall Creek probably has 20 of them. That's $600,000 right there.
What you just said before we turned it on you was that none of this money is going to you. Okay. There you have it. There you have it.
There's that one. So that did not sit right with me. Okay. And then the following day, and this is so crazy because I'm dealing with something even crazier. I promised the families, I already got scammed this week by some dude on this road. And I thought that he was from the city coming out here to help me get my rove paid. He tried to charge me nearly $9,000. Dude, it was horrible. Nobody was here to help me. There's about 10 dudes with him. Showed up out here on Spring Hill and tried to fix them. It looks good. But I'll explain that on another episode. But I got ripped off this week. We figured out that the reason why my power popped this week was because there was some type of situation going down here at the river, some type of hazmat. Okay. So that was nuts. Then, okay, I hadn't met Izzy yet. Izzy just reached out to me really in the last 24 hours. And I think it was around the same time Destiny did. But this is the drain out there at Nestle that I followed the other day on, I think it was the week before last on the podcast, or it was on the Heads Up podcast. And we were looking at that information Rebecca posted about somebody out there by Nestle was needing some type of no, he needed to get, they're not even on the facility reports. So check this out. This is out by Nestle.
I'm going to give everybody a couple minutes to try to pop on.
Okay. Let me see.
This is atrocious.
Some
of it, I think, is
that right there has a little bit of algae in it. It's got like some weird film on the top of it. I thought at first that was one of the locations of the smell. This is also the video that John Dyer's in, because I wound up apologizing to him. But I test this water and I found that puddle right here, this nasty puddle, was high. I think it was alkaline. It was this puddle was high alkaline on the right side, and this water over here was high or was low on the acidic side. Okay, so then you can see that it was out all the way to here at one point, blocking these driveways, and I'm not even in the right driveway. I didn't realize that it was the driveway down until later. But here's this.
Locked myself.
Oh, I put my I said I flocked myself because I put my my plate in the video. So okay, here I'm pulling out the water. Let me see John Dyer walking across here. Yeah, I need to go back and test these, see if I don't even know if I put that close enough to the video, but this right here is like a 10 spread panel of different types of chemicals that could be in your water. And I got it off Amazon, And to me, it's like they've already complained so much about some of the stuff that we've turned into them that I just have like a baseline. So I'm not going to waste anybody's time if I don't see one of them hit something that I don't think should be in the water. And then that's when I start raising my alarms with item or EPA. And then on this one, I did tell Catherine that we need to upgrade my kits because stuff like this is crazy. These boots were fun until I realized what I'm in the middle of. So I really need some muck gear to be able to go out and do this. So we'll see. Maybe I'll get to invest in some. Oh, I do get close. So see this one right here, that is super dark. So that's here, the far right of that scale. And then this one was really bright, which is the far left on this scale. I can't remember. I know this is pH, so the pH of the water. And this was something else. And so it told me that, obviously, you can tell by looking at it that something's wrong with it. But it told me there was something wrong. So hopefully I'll get some different gear. But then you got to have the item guys, because that's when they say we don't do stuff right. And then it is what it is. I don't know. They don't want to put panic. Okay, this is when I noticed the sheen in the water that's out there on Park Road. So this is the drainage that is on Park Road coming down the line. Let me see if my facility report is up. No, you guys are lucky. I already cleared it. Well, I do have this one. This, I can jump over here real quick because I can't see the other one. This is just as good too, because these are brown fields. All them locations are brown fields or some type of environment. I mean, it gives you like a spread sheet or a ledger over here. So brownfield properties, and there's a big circle here for our National Priority Superfund site. That's where Ranning Well 4 is by Frisch's. And that might be why Frisch's is getting closed, ladies and gentlemen. I've been trying to warn everybody forever. That spot is not good. The actual maps I put up this week of the plumes show what's going on in this area. But back to the Park Road incident is just outside. Let me see. "53rd Street, S109. Maybe I should go from there. Okay, it's down here. Where's Park Road? I can't really read this map. I was hoping I would recognize stuff because I just was hoping. That's it. Park Road. Nope. You're in luck. See, I love it when a plan comes together. So this is Park Road Substation, which is in violation. So we accidentally found this the other day while I was live on the Heads Up thing, doing an investigation into that bad boy right there, which doesn't even have the right name on it, right? So then I was like, well, how does that Nestle line go? And we just saw that this was in violation. And then I gotta click on. So this pops up the facility report. And so Izzy's out there. She's like a couple blocks away from this location. And then they're having like a major flooding out there. And then Park Road itself, Destiny Harney, the Harneys are out there on Park Road. Nobody's going out there to check on them. And I'm like, bro, I filed another item complaint. I have filed several item complaints this week and EPA complaints. So yes, when I feel like it's a high priority violation because the environment is contaminated for whatever reason. This one's a CAA, which is a Clean Air Act violation. So that's a smell. So the fact that they got a really nasty air quality out there tells me that there's something going down that line too. Like what's coming down that line that's causing that smell. And the guy tried to tell me it was like some type of manure or something with the tree farm. I'm telling you, no, I'm sorry, guy. I'd like to know who he was. I'd never seen him before, but he said he was a supervisor at the water department. So one day I'll figure it out. Okay, I went too far. It was right in there, right there. Okay. These blue lines, this is the 3-year report compliance history. You go down here. Oh, that's the bottom one right there. High priority, unaddressed state. So that concerns me, Anderson. City of Anderson. And then Izzy and Park Road are down there. Izzy's house. I don't think she showed any of her stuff, but I mean, she's dealing with her property flooding and a smell out there. What's causing it? And that's not even in the actual floodplain that everybody's been looking at, right? That's down here. And a lot of the properties that were hit, let me see if I can put this up. We're right in the, so I'm over here. This is me out here at Rangeline. This is the Rangeline Nature Preserve. This is Mound State Park over here. Okay. Mound State Park, White River. Oh yeah, and not to mention that the Chesterfield wastewater treatment plant, and they were spitting 65% above E. coli level last week into the river, and then this week we have this massive flood. So put 2 and 2 together there. This is the holiday dump. You can, I can tell there's something wrong with it. I don't even like the way the Rangeline Nature Preserve water works. I would not want to get in there. I would not want to swim in that. I see people fishing this stuff all the time, and I'm like, dude, I don't know. I wouldn't eat it. I think the other website, How's My Waterways, is got, it shows you the PCBs that are in the fish. Okay, so this area was heavily hit. One of those videos I showed you was coming up all the way into this parking lot across to over here to McDonald's. The smell here was, that was the one that caused us to file with item. Okay, so you go down this river to here, which I haven't got back to Pittsford's Ditch to see what it looks like down there. But this is Pittsford's Ditch coming down from 6 puppies. Yeah, night. 6 puppies. So she's got the Pittsford's Ditch stuff issues over in her area. And they just said that plume number 4 was in this area over here, right? We just talked about that with the Anderson Redevelopment Commission. It's like, I don't know. That just flips me out. And then now here we are, flooding. So yeah, so pretty much anything, this flooded, this over in here flooded. Oh, now because of that levee, which I didn't even show those again. I might do that another time, but you can go back and see more of this levee. This totally got flooded. And CSO 16's over here. And then the Derby Downs area. So all this water got pushed into Riverbend. And this area got hit harder. Like, I think this is historically the hardest I've ever seen that hit. Even with the 1913 flood, because that happened in Park Place. This was in a whole different area. Luai Street that she was talking about a minute ago is right here. Wait, no, right here. Right here. Okay, and guess who lives just a block down? Okay, my son's over here. So you want to know why I was yelling at the commissioners? And I do realize that I made it. Oh, I don't do my John Dyer. So I'll do the John Dyer, you guys. I want you to see this crazy dude. Did I already skip it? I might have already skipped it. If I do, I'm just going to close out on the what me and Stephanie May Stennis pulled off. Because Christopher Bilbrey comes on live at 9, and I see he's starting to post. So he's going to be live here in a few minutes. I don't know. There's no telling what he could be talking about tonight. So, I guess you can't see. Okay, you can't see. Let's go on to the next one. So, that is an update from, I'm not even on that page right now. This one, this top one here is an update yesterday. This is the Democrat town hall. This is my little thing. Like, I'm realizing this dude, no, I'll end with that one. So, okay, so I got to give you a little backstory, and I'm going to try to shut up. We decided to go hunt the money, and I think I've already said it once. Stephanie Mason has a live on her page. She went to talk to him, but she didn't get it on record or on like anything like what I just pulled off here. And I'm going to try to fast forward some of this because the sound quality isn't good because I had a camera hidden on me. But she was concerned about packets for people that don't have access to computers or the internet. I'm concerned about the evacuation, and we're wanting to know where the money is being transferred from, where the receipts are, what is their plan with this money, because we got people like Izzy and single moms and disabled citizens. So I need some volunteers tomorrow. We got all these people that need help right now. We don't have time to make a plan down the road for when all these supposed volunteers can come. That's why we're being deployed now. Like, tomorrow, if anybody wants to look at my Facebook, I got a couple events tomorrow, and just reach out to me. Okay, she just sent me something. I'm gonna read that, but I'm gonna play this and just listen to this. How
Okay, well, the commissioners are not here right now. They had their meeting this morning, and they went through a lot of approvals of different ordinances and resolutions that have to do with that. But the money is not here. I mean, it's.
No, we understand. So basically what we're looking for is just the documentation. And then if we have to put a FOIA in, where would we submit the FOIA in so we can get copies of all of it?
Copies of what?
Can I ask you?
Yeah.
I'm Akron County Manager.
Oh, okay. We are wanting to know exactly where the $925,000 that was approved last night is at, what it's gonna be utilized for, and how it's gonna help our residents, because we were just at the emergency management, and they told us that they only needed $50,000, and that you guys requested $925 and just put the emergency management name on it. And, yeah, we want accountability and transparency.
And I don't blame you, and we will have that.
Okay, well, you saying that, I'm sorry, does not go very far.
Well, that's true, so I don't lie.
Okay, well,
That's it.
we want the documentation, so how do we get that?
But there is no documentation. They
Yeah.
have- Yes.
But isn't there,
They allocated the money last night, so it's there if and when we need it. We're going through a presidential declaration now. We'll see what money we get from them. This is to subsidize. We still have roads closed that need fixed and open back up. This money may be used for that. We haven't decided where it's all going to go yet.
Well, yesterday in the meeting, we heard that it might go towards food for volunteers, so.
It might do anything. We haven't planned that out yet. We just had an opportunity. We're still in the flood situation.
okay, well, here's the other problem. Okay, we were boots on the ground. I spent the last 130 something hours cleaning my family out of
Yeah.
shit water up to their knees
You're no
with
different.
no
than me.
help. No, I'm a combat veteran. So did you serve? Did you serve this nation or you just serve the county? No, because no, it does have everything to do with it because the response that we've seen on the ground sucked. So if you were in charge of it, I'm sorry, it was piss poor, and people weren't evacuated until 3 hours before it was time to go. I was on the bridge.
If you want to get healthy about it, then
No,
you're
sir.
out of here. If you want to talk
You can't kick
decently,
me out. We came in here to get a FOIA request. You are not the boss. You are supposed to work for us. Our taxpayer money pays your salary, does it not?
Do you want to
Because
get
I know-
about it, or you
No,
want
I came in to ask for
You're being civil.
Freedom of
You're not.
Information Act. You just told us you weren't going to give us that
No, I
information.
did not.
Yes, you
I
did.
never said I
Yes,
wasn't
you
gonna
did.
give it to you.
Yes,
I
you
said we
did.
do not have it.
No, and you should. You came up with the number of $925,000. You said it was for EMA. There's $400,000 is down for other services. We know how you spend our money up to this point. So we want to see receipts. Where did you come up with that
There
number?
hasn't been any receipts.
How'd you come up with that
There
number?
hasn't been any applications yet. We're not taking applications yet.
Right, so the people that are standing in shit water up to their knees, is it getting help for another week or two? Because I saw the reports where you said don't self-deploy. We had no choice. So either I let my stepdad and my son sit in shit water for the next 7 days, or we do something about it. And obviously, you're not the one to talk to. So we will come back to some meetings. And where do I put my FOIA in? Do I put my FOIA in here, or do I have to go up to a different office?
Okay, what's the FOIA?
Freedom of Information Act, address.
I mean, I'm sorry.
EMA, Madison County Emergency Management. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. It's responsibility. She's just the secretary. Jeff Graham. That's who I. Yeah. So is he in the building or is it?
He was here this morning. I don't know where he is now.
Okay, so if I want to request documents, do I just send it to him? There's not somewhere I can come in here, maybe her? I think that's what I'm looking for, the app. No, I know. Yeah.
Bill Township top part of this.
No, Tom, don't speak for me. Don't speak for me. I was on the ground. You were on the news. You claim to be EMA on the news, Tom.
Here you go.
I know right here it kind of goes into a little muffle, and I'm sorry. I should have had my pen cam on me. I don't know if it would have done any better because I didn't really have. I would have. Everything was happening so fast, guys. It just, that's the footage I got. So basically, what happens is I then realize I'm the only one with a working cam on me, so I can't be kicked out of the room per se. I got to keep my cool to be able to, continue grabbing footage. And I think what's going to happen is when I load this up to YouTube in the next, I would say, give me at least another week, because if I have to be out in the field the next couple of days gathering information, it's going to take me some time to get this up. Tomorrow we're meeting with an actual building about doing a hub from a church that's located inside the it's like on 5th Street. I can't remember what Tess said, but Tess Etchison has a building. So we'll try to get a schedule up so people can actually meet us at a building as this progresses. But we just want to make sure that nobody gets left behind. So that's why we're gathering information, and we're going to make a spreadsheet on top of gathering volunteers to help get some of the people out of the moldier type environments. And there's some people that need help like yesterday. So anyway, we're going to keep doing that. But I can't remember if there's really anything else that he says in this video. If you want to try to listen to it, you can. But I think what's going to happen when I switch it to YouTube, I'm going to be able to put the CC on it. But I might skip forward a little bit. There's a few things that just I'm pacing at this point because I'm realizing that I can't get away. Like if I walk out, then you can't hear what he's saying. But he pulls. Okay, but I can tell you what's happening in the room is Tom Eckert has now pulled Stephanie Mace Dennis to the side, and he starts whispering to her, so I can't hear him. And it's like, dude, you just straight up went on the news talking about like he was the spokesperson for the EMA. He didn't say, like, he didn't really introduce himself. I don't know, in that particular clip, but it just didn't rub me right because I saw what happened on the ground, and now we're learning that the EMA director was at a seminar. So this dude's the county administrator. His job is not EMA, and they need to have a backup team for future evacuation responses, in my opinion. And I do have solutions, and those are coming soon too. But let's see what I got for this.
Should already had it processed.
Other services, is there a way to like an application for individuals that, well, you're saying, so the city is like first, second, third party, for example, where can they get money today to like help with repairs? I mean, these people are on the road buying wood and all that stuff. Where can they
There
get?
are two groups out there right now. Catholic Charity is one of them, and another one.
Okay, I get all these organizations are helping out, but what is the county doing with your money and your resources? Not all these other organizations.
It would be interesting for us.
I need to go to the mayor. Me and the mayor don't get along at all. The mayor knows. Yeah, well.
Yeah, I mean, it would be, you would be just as mad at me if I spent any amount of money in the city and they didn't spend their money.
I get that. I get that.
No, actually, we wouldn't. We would be happy that people's houses didn't get ruined.
It is illegal to do that.
Well, then why do we put you guys in charge? Because we expect you guys to watch out for us like watchmen on the wall. You're in charge of the county's for it too, Tom. Maybe no.
Well, here's where I'm at.
Everything you're talking about.
I say that, and I mean that, because these people don't have, and the government, and I work for ICA, I work for the government, and it's all a total case, when this is not a good Would it be?
I'm sorry, I can't
Like, say you lived on First Street and the county.
That's
gave
the
you
adrenaline fight or flight.
reimburse the county? Who? Oh, I agree. Oh, yeah, they have 50 million for a splash pad park or whatever.
And that 50 million, I think that they should hold off on that splash pad. And I think if they help rebuild the community first, then all of us would be glad to help them build that water park down there. Like if they would come in and use that 50 million to help us be able to even look at something over there ever again, we could build a memorial park and have bricks laid like the yellow brick road with people's names on it that survived, and we could have a really cool park over there. But I think at this point, trying to put a water park in the super fun zone site at Athletic Park is just cray cray. And yeah, all these people are suffering. So she mentions it. I'm telling you, you need to invest that 50 million in the people, and we will help. Like, what is it? If we build it, they will come. You invest in us, and we'll help you build that, right? We'll get the money to get that together to be built, but they need help right now. So,
That's what I can tell you right now. We're pushing the state, we're pushing the federal government. Because I'm saying the exact same thing.
right. Right. They did.
Things.
Oh, you're back on.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of things I don't like about this whole situation, but.
Okay, so we're done. I'm gonna cut it right there because I realize it's getting late. It's 9:05. I'm gonna put her back on screen real quick because literally while we were finishing up the tail end of this, she was driving back to the hotel because she can't even sleep in her house tonight. Okay. So then that poses a good question. Now we know the flood area that's inside the city, but what about the county folks that are still dealing with the flooding, right? Like, for real? Come on now. And so anyway, she sent me some stuff because she hadn't sent it to me yet. Like, that's what we were talking about. She realized she hadn't sent some of these. So I wanted to end with that my special guest tonight, Izzy Krompack. I don't even know if I said your name. We'll have to teach each other how to say each other's last names.
Yep, you covered it.
um so what is this right here, what we're looking at right here?
So this is my basement door after the flooding went down a little bit and we are actually able to get some pictures. The stairs going down to my basement are they're in my kitchen. So when the water came up, it flooded all the way up my basement stairs, bringing all that stuff up into my kitchen. And what we're looking at here is my son's room. And this is a residual of the water sitting in our basement for so long without our sump pump working, which we obviously could not get to unless we swam over to it. That all the humidity got trapped in the house. And it started just growing mold rapidly wherever it was able to. We've been told now that we are going to have to take the whole ceiling out in his room, possibly redo those running boards up in the attic. It took shingles off of the house, which led to some leaks. Just bringing water in everywhere, really, and just molding anything and everything that it could get to. These are power cords that got swept out in our basement into the water. Us going through having to completely strip that room. And then what you're seeing in my driveway right here is just a fraction of the stuff that, we took all this out of my son's room, but that's not all the stuff that has to come out. So I just really wanted to touch a little bit on, you see everybody cleaning their whole houses out in town, and that's just, from the dramatic rise of the river, and that's really what swept everything out. But we're looking at the same things on the outskirts of town. So when they put that 600 number out for an estimate, they have to have an estimate account, an idea when it comes to requesting money and stuff like that. I mean, folks out by me, they deserve to be helped too. And if they're not figured into that number, I mean, I really don't think that they plan on helping us out there and that we haven't been figured into that, but we were hit just as hard.
So yeah, so she asked me, she brought that up a minute ago, and then that dawned on me that that's kind of what some folks are looking at. And then what, how old are you, Izzy?
I'm 23.
Okay, so you're just a little younger than my son. What's this right here?
So this is the water that is still standing in our yard a week later because we have no drainage system, and I can send you an additional picture that I took of my ditches and stuff like that. No drainage systems out by us. And it kind of goes into zoning laws too, because we live directly next to a field next to us. And when you have those dips in the ground and when they have those planting permits to be able to plant all the way up next to your house and you have the ground dip like that, it also needs to come with some kind of draining system because you are going below the ground leveling itself, and that affects all the homes next to it.
Okay, I'm just pointing something out while you were talking. And I'm sorry if I distracted you, but this right here, the fact that she's one of the people out in the county that needs help and needs help getting her house, drained, and just that side of town seemed to be hit really, really hard. And it's kind of crazy that they didn't give Ken any money for our county people. So I'm really sad about that. So now we got to help Izzy, folks. We got to help get some attention for Izzy and the folks like Izzy that are just outside. And would that be considered an unincorporated area in Madison County? Or is that considered Anderson? Or do you even know?
Well, My address is
Address?
Anderson,
Okay.
and I
So,
would really hope that they're kind of thinking about that area because I watched a live that was posted the other night. I think that you maybe had reshared it, but it was somebody that is running for office and kind of introducing himself and talking about how he's heavily involved with Pendleton and the D1 district. And he was talking about how Pendleton wraps all the way around Anderson. It goes and over in parts by Chesterfield, and it really just wraps all the way around Anderson. And so when we're looking at that and we look at Anderson, versus where my house is at, you have to think that that is a pocket right in the middle of that. How can you not figure that into all the other areas that were affected?
right. So, guys, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned because that's something else that that's going to be like a developing story. She's going to continue being boots on the ground. She has a real passion and knack for helping get this information, and people seem to be, talking to her today. So that, that helps a lot out when we're trying to figure out who still needs help. So for tomorrow, there's really stuff you can do all day if you're not already involved with a group, or none of us, I'm not an organization, she's not an organization, none of my stuff is really considered a 501c3. I just feel like this is the right thing to do, and I don't want to see anybody else get left behind in my community. So that's what I'm here doing. And then tomorrow, this is part of the Anderson, Indiana Events and Chatter Network group. If you're not involved with us already, you should get on there and join up on the group. There's about 33K of us in the group, so I'm hoping that we can really make a dent in some of this stuff, and all of us can fight together to get like if we do stuff, we get people can get paid, because if you're not working, this is perfect labor jobs for people. So anyway, I need a couple laborers for the morning, 4 to 5, 6, 7, 8. If we could get 10, that'd be great. And then I got a garage that needs cleaned out. If anybody can do it tomorrow or Saturday or Sunday. Saturday, hopefully, if you can't do it tomorrow. And then Izzy's gonna pop back. Hopefully Izzy can help get some volunteers for that one. And then she's going to be back over here with me. And this one's going to grow, because I was telling you guys the other day when I was walking down by the Blue Bridge in one of my videos, like me and Jacob Burris have already shut down one park. And so this one lady was offering us her parking lot for tomorrow. And I saw it and I was like, no. So what's the next biggest parking lot? And it was at the Derby Downs Park at Madison Avenue and White River. And I was like, yeah, we're probably going to fill that park tomorrow. So we are going to be at Derby Downs tomorrow starting at 2 p.m. Well, I'll probably be a little early to set up. I'm going to bring my event trailer and a tent, and we'll watch the weather. We'll play it by ear, I guess. I need to think about that too. So far, I saw it was supposed to be kind of sunny, maybe cloudy, but we can do a lot in the parking lot. And there's a lot of room for people to come in. If you got clothes, somebody like backpacks, school supplies, anything that you've been wanting to hand out to people, just bring it down there and you can do it yourself. Hang out for a little bit, hand it to them yourself. Then I do have this, what do you call it? The hold harmless agreements for volunteers, so that, if something happens, you're not suing me or the homeowner that you're helping. That's just kind of the work we're getting ourselves into. Of course, wear long sleeve shirts. Bring your own gloves, because we don't really have any. We can locate some if you need them. But that's for the cleaning part. This hub here is going to be strictly for us networking, connecting, talking to other people, like-minded people, brainstorming some more ideas of other ways that we can reach our community. So, and we'll be at Derby Downs tomorrow. And then Sunday, I think I'm going to try to put a hub in Park Place. I have several friends over there that I'm going to see if they'll let me use their property. I think I have one right there at 8th Street that I can set up a tent at and, start helping people to sign up. just whatever. Just, meet us at the bridges, and we'll go from there. So 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. tomorrow at Derby Downs, and I'll make another flyer for Sunday. But what's Sunday? August, is that the 23rd? So it'll probably be something similar for the 23rd, and really we're going to sign up volunteers, and then we're going to sign up people for all the different the $5,000 grant. We're going to put everybody in a spreadsheet, and we are going to track everyone that has been affected by this, and we're going to make sure that nobody gets left behind. We don't want anybody getting left behind, not one child, not one family, not one grown young adult. We want everybody feeling like they got their needs met through this process. So we're building networks, we're building communities, and a lot of us are putting down our odds against each other and coming together for the greater good of the hood, of our neighborhoods, So Izzy, is there anything else? Oh, her device kept going out on her, so I see she's gone again. But yep. So I hope you guys can come out tomorrow, meet Izzy, meet me, I've tagged so many people in this post. There's no telling who's going to show up. Tammy Alani's, she owns a property right there. The Kinnisons are the ones that said we could use their parking lot at First North Madison Avenue. So I want to give them a shout out, but it's just too small for what some of my kinfolk, my people I grew up with around here, we need big open spaces to fill. So I hope you guys come out, and then I'll be back on for the Veterans Podcast on Saturday if anybody wants to join me for that before we plan our day for what we're going to do Saturday. So anyway, all right guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you find the information informative and ask questions. Please reach out to me on Facebook. I know I'm on the Mouthwash Talk Show platform. I'm also live streaming from my YouTube channels. And I do have a little outro that I'm going to do. And then, yeah, so if you need anything, just reach out to me. My numbers are all over the place. Let me see. It's not on this one, though. Is it? No, so this one's just meet me there. Let me put my number up here again. If you need something, reach out. And then go check out Christopher Bilbrey in the Political Spotlight. But I do need some people to help with these disabled female veterans tomorrow, if anybody could. So reach out to me.
Nicole in all caps live, raw, unfiltered reality, uncut. We're not soft-pedaling a thing. We're not here to sugarcoat it. We're here to ask the hard questions, follow the paper trail, expose what gets buried, and talk about the issues affecting all of us, local, state, and national. From Madison County to the state of Indiana and beyond, accountability still matters. Transparency still matters. And the truth still matters. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and follow the conversation on YouTube or Facebook. Heads up and call collaboration. Mouthwash Talk Show and the Chateau de Mars Hill production. And Nicole 46016. Until then, stay loud, stay informed, and don't let anyone tell you your voice doesn't matter. This has been Nicole in all caps live. Good night, everybody.